Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about some pine problems, and pines in the southern part of the state are going through quite a bit of stress with our heat wave, and we've kind of had sporadic rains, but not real good rain in the area, so we're still a little bit behind average, and with the higher heat that we've had, has caused a lot of problems on our pines, and we have some natural things that are going on, so it's created quite a bit of telephone calls at the office, a lot of concern among homeowners, but some of the problems we want to talk about are problems that we find on some of our more common pines in the area, like the Aleppo pine or the Afghan pine, which is also known as the Mondale pine. Those two we seem to have a lot of calls on just because of the popularity of those pines. But some of the things we want to talk about are the browning of the needles on the pines. We're starting to see a lot of brown needles show up in the pines, and some of these brown needles are a natural needle dieback. As the tree puts on new growth, the leaves do go through a natural senescence, usually about 2 to 3 years of life on the needles, and then they begin to drop off. So a lot of that is a natural shed of the needles. Some of the needles where we have from the tip going back towards the branch, if we have a little bit of dieback on the tips here, that is usually a sign of drought. So if you've not been watering the trees good enough, and what we mean by good enough is getting it out away from the trunk of the tree and really giving it a deep soaking, that will help to take care of part of the problem. But if we have brown needles on the inside, then that's more of a natural shed on the tree, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Some of the other things we want to look at, one is the presence of spider mites, and what we want to do is just take a white piece of paper, and we're going to take a branch and just bang it out on the paper. We'll look for any kind of specks that might be moving on the paper, and if there are specks moving on the paper, if you go to rub the paper and you get any kind of smears on the paper, then that's a sign that you have spider mites. And spider mites are a little tiny insect that is a sucking insect, so it's sucking the juice out of the plant. It's real prevalent when we're hot and dry like now. So you want to check for spider mites, and if you do have spider mites, then we want to go ahead and spray the tree down with just plain water. So if you hose it down with water, a lot of times that will keep your mite population under control. So that can also be a cause. And then one of the big ones, again, with our hot, dry weather, is that we really want to work on keeping that root system wet, getting adequate moisture in the soil so that that tree is picking up water when it needs it. These are pines that do well under arid conditions, but 2 inches of rainfall for the year is not very good. So we want to make sure that we are getting those root systems, especially on a larger pine like this one. That water needs to be applied quite a ways away from the trunk of the tree. So we want to look at either coming in with a deep root feeder, or if we can take a sampling, we can use a rod and just go in and take a sample of the soil. And then make sure that we are getting adequate moisture. And on most trees, we'd like to have the 18 to 24 inches of soil moist. So we like to have moisture down through the soil profile for quite a ways. So that may require putting somewhere between 1.5 inches and 2 inches of water on. And that can be, if you're using a sprinkler, that can be put on with coffee cans out underneath the tree, turn the sprinkler on, and let it run until you've caught 1.5 inches or 2 inches of water in the cup. That way you're giving it adequate water. So with pines, we want to look at several things, and one of the other big things can be down at the base of the tree. We can actually have a root problem, and a lot of the Afghan pines are such fast-growing trees that the root systems on them, when they were back in the very seedling stage, ended up with a root girdling problem. They had a lot of roots that were beginning to spiral and outgrow the container they were in, and then when they were moved up to the next size and then the next size, that problem was never corrected. So when you bought the plant and planted it, it could have had a root problem that existed from the tree when it was just a seedling. So a lot of times those problems are very, very hard to see. So when you're looking at the base of the tree, you want to make sure that it has a natural flare going out on all sides of it, and that does help to show you that you do have a pretty good root system that's coming out from there. So hopefully that's helped give you maybe a little bit of reassurance as far as some of the problems you're having, and give you some ideas on what you can do to correct problems if you do have those.